I'm here to tell you it's not the size of the tarot, it's how you use it. Hi, my lovely tarot bumblebees. It's Ethony, and I'm here today to tell you all about casting with tiny tarot tiles and how to use these tools in your divination practice. I love tiny treasures, and what I really think is super cute about using a different form of divination with the tarot is that it gets you to use a different sense. It's really fun and it gives a different experience. So let's dive on in. So I first wanted to talk about what the difference is between using like a tarot tile and charm casting. So I have this mat and also these charms from Carrie Paris, and charm casting is literally using charms to cast your fortune. Now she has mats, free ones on her website, all sorts of stuff. So you would pick your charms and then you would cast them. Now, Carrie has a bunch of information on her website of how to do charm casting, but a lot of the sort of tools and techniques I'm going to be showing you today, you can use in charm casting as well. Charm casting is also different to using witches' runes, which is a as they come tumbling out, which is another way to use your divinationary sort of tools and your senses and your intuition. These are my custom runes, witches' runes that I created that are more expansive of the 13 runes. There's 22, and my course on how to use witches' runes is over at the Tarot Readers Academy. But again, you can use a lot of these tips as to how to use your witches' runes as well. Now I'm going to show you a couple of the tarot tiles that I have. The first one I unboxed recently, and I'm going to be getting the metal ones, but these are the tiny tarot charms by Amelia. These are super cute. Oh my gosh, they're going everywhere. And then I also have these, which are done by the amazing Jamie Sawyer. And these are for the Bad Bitches Tarot, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to be using these today to show you my tutorial. Absolutely anyone can use these, and charm casting and using casting techniques like this are used around the world. People have used shells, stones, trinkets, all sorts of things around the world to divine. So it's bringing this very eclectic vibration that everyone uses around the world in their own practices to the world of tarot. So how do you use these beautiful things? Let's go through some of the techniques. The first technique is that you shake the bag and you ask a question. And then you close your eyes and you pick a card. The Page of Pentacles. So that would be how I do my daily draw. If I don't have a bag, you can take a box and you can simply ask your question, run your hand over it. I like to use my left hand, even though it is my dominant hand. And then you can even feel all the way through. If I pick the Page of Pentacles, it's going to be really funny. I picked the King of Pentacles. And then that would be your answer. The second technique is to roll the dice. Now I bought a bunch of different dice from my D&D kit. I wouldn't recommend doing the D20, so I would use a D8 or a D4 or a 6. So it's a really good reading, and there is even a little D4 in here somewhere, or a D4. So you'd pick whether you want up to 4 charms, 8 charms, or 6 charms, and then you would roll the dice. I'm actually bringing out a tray. This is just a tea tray that I got so that I can actually cast them in there. So the first thing you want to do is you want to hold the question in your mind and in your energy while you're holding the die, and then you want to cast the die. 4. So this is a 4 charm reading. So you can place that anywhere you want. I'm going to pop it outside. And then you would do the same thing where you would take this and then you would hold it over and you would pick 4. Okay, I'm going to have to do this. That's why I brought out this. So then we're going to pick 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. See how fun that is? You can imagine if you were doing this at a party, that how fun this would be for people to like actually get their hands in and pick it. So then that would be your reading. Then you could do the same thing with the die D8. So you could 6, and then you would do the same thing. You would pick 6, 6. And then for this, I would just read it as a line, okay, because we're picking it out this way. I do go through a lot of different spreads and everything in my Witches Runes course, which uses a few of these techniques and how to kind of interpret it more, but these are just some of the techniques that you can use to start. So that's the dice technique. This is another dice technique, but it is over a reading. So I used to do a lot of readings like this for my Wheel of the Year readings. So you would first do your tarot reading. So just shuffle that a couple of times. I'm just trying to show you an example. So you would do your reading. So let's say we do my 5-card reading, and this is the Divine Masculine Tarot. And then I would roll a dice. So this time I'm going to use a D12 because you're going to see why I'm using a larger number. So 10. So it's asking me to pull 10. This is where it can get a little bit more complicated, but stay with me. So now I would pick 10 charms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then what I would do is shake and drop it over. You can either drop it over. These don't actually bounce all that well. So another way you can do this is, I like doing this in my Witches Runes a lot. Okay, so then what you would do is you take all of the ones that didn't face up. Okay, so we're only using the ones that faced up, which is why we used a larger number on our die. And then we would interpret it together. So the Hanged Man has 2 charms, and then we have the 8 of Pentacles over the 10 of Cups and the Page of Cups, and then we have the 5 of Wands going towards Justice, and then we would interpret it this way. So we'd be looking at how the 10 of Cups has this challenge going away from it, but it's heading towards Justice. So for me, that would be talking about how there's going to be a bit of a struggle in regards to maybe a disagreement, but it's actually going to be something that does resolve, especially because Justice is above and the Devil is underneath. So this is a bit more of an advanced technique because you need to be able to look at the tarot reading itself and then the layer on top of it. And then the 8 of Pentacles over the 10 of Cups and the Page of Cups is like, you really have to do your due diligence. You have to focus on every attention to detail. Don't let too many people come in and try and tell you to do different things and sway you. You need to make sure that's being taken care of. And then the 8 of Wands and the Queen of Wands here really speaks about having something is going to quickly move, or a block that has been around this person is going to quickly move, but then it's going to move into this 3 of Wands. So there's this regression that you're going to maybe have to go back into the beginning and redo your work because all of this is in play. So that's a very quick interpretation because I've done this so many times and I know how to work with those two. But it's a really fun way to challenge yourself to get more in depth with your readings and add more layers. But I've said this many times before, if it starts stressing you out and you don't enjoy it, then don't do it. If you'd be interested in a charm casting tutorial, please let me know in the comments below. And again, if those Witches Runes sparked your interest, make sure you check out my workshop and course on Witches Runes over at thetarotreadersacademy.com. And finally, the last is a cleaner version, or a not as confusing version of it. So you're going to grab your tiles and you're going to pick 13. I'm not looking, I'm putting them upside down. Okay, I picked 13. Then I'm going to pick them all up. Just going to try very hard not to drop them. And then you're going to shake them. You can put them in a box if you want to as well. And you're going to have them up quite up high and you're going to drop them. And then you're going to do exactly the same thing as we did last time. We're going to take away all the cards that aren't face up. And we're going to read this reading and see how these two are on top of each other. So you've got the Magician and the Hermit, and they're like top and tail. So those two are kind of in opposition of each other. They're not working in the same energy. The Magician wants to expand. The Hermit wants to retract and go within and withdraw. There's an imbalance and not a harmony in regards to what's happening with this reading. And then we have the 5 of Cups and the Knight of Cups. So clearly this person is working through some loss or some emotional turmoil. they're working through it, and then the way forward is the 3 wands. And here you can actually have a look at the position of it. If you had, so this one's facing me, this one's facing the other way, and you can also look at directions as well. What if you had a compass, where they're facing, what element they're in, what quarter they're in. If you wanted to like divide it up into elemental quarters, you can do it over a zodiac house, you can do it over a wheel of the year. There really is unlimited ways of working with this. You can make your own boards, quite like Carrie Paris. But it's a really fun way to divine. Have you ever harnessed the magic of sigils in your practice? If not, check out my tutorial on sigil magic right there. I'm really stuck on that. I'm really hot. I'm beginning to melt. Thank you so much for watching my overview on how to use tiny tarot tiles, and I'll see you all next time, my lovely bumblebees.